excited to bring to you Andrea Donsky of Naturally Savvy.
We're a website that's dedicated to helping people live a healthier lifestyle. We focus very much on organic and non-GMO, which is really my passion. When I first started it, it's about 7 years old now, I used to tell people that it's my life, just online, because it really is fueled by what I believe in and how I live my life.
Tell me, when you were growing up, was nutrition and good food and clean food, was that part of your life, or was this something that you came into as an adult?
And I came into it pretty much later on in life because I had digestive issues, and that's what really sparked my journey for healthier living. I just couldn't live with them anymore. I was feeling bloated and gassy all the time, and I really couldn't eat anything. So I started to do a lot of research, and once I started to discover that what I was eating was really causing my digestive problems, I realized that I was going on a whole different path, and I went back to school to become a nutritionist, and it became my passion. I just wanted to eat better, feel better, really was the basis of what made me decide to go back to school.
So online it says you're a holistic nutritionist. What is this word holistic nutritionist?
So basically what it means is that we look at the whole person. We look at the mind, we look at the body, and we look at the spirit. We don't just look at specifically at food, we look at what's causing us to eat a particular food. So it's really just encompassing everything.
When I remember sitting in a karate lobby and it literally hiding my book because I felt like the people around me were thinking I was woo-woo or crunchy.
Crazy.
That's right,
Yeah.
So how have you experienced
Oh my
anything
God.
like this, and how do you feel like this world of holistic is changing or not?
Well, it's a great question again, because when I first started, it's been about 15 years that I've been in the natural health industry. So I didn't just come into it in the last several years. And when I first started, organic, really was not a big thing when I first got into it. So we were the first ones to come up even with a coupon book for natural organic products. It's a whole other company that I run. And it was more like being able to afford people to buy these healthier options. But yeah, of course. I remember when I first started, especially people in my own family and friends, the circles that are closest to us, oh my gosh, all the time, like I'm crazy, and still even to today. When I go to families' houses, and I'll be like, well, you know what, guys, I really want to pass on the food coloring popsicles. Let's make a healthier choice. And it's like, oh, there she goes again with her craziness. So you know what, we're always going to be faced with people who don't believe or aren't where I'm at. I guess for those of us in this industry, but that's okay. I do what I do. I continue to stick to my values, and I think one day, if it's meant to be, they'll come around, and if not, you know what, I'm happy doing what I do. I love what I do. So.
And speaking of what you do, you wrote a book.
I did. I've written a few.
I can't wait for you to share with Choose Wisely Nation your book about Unjunk, your junk food. Crazy, wonderful title. I love this.
Thank you. So really the reason what sparked the whole concept between unjunking or junk food was my experience as a mom. So I have 3 kids. I've got an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And I'm really one of those moms. So when my son was just born, I was one of those moms that was bringing red peppers to birthday parties. And I was bringing my own candies, eventually morphed into candies, because as he got older, red peppers just wasn't going to cut it when everyone's eating cake. It's just the way it was. So I'm a realist. I get, our kids are kids. Our kids need to be kids, and I support that. But at the same time, what was bugging me was what they were eating was, the norm, right? So people would go and they'd buy candy, or they'd buy, whatever it was, the junk that they were giving them, but they weren't really reading the ingredients. And then what would happen is my kids would spiral out of control, and they would get crazy. And I was like, well, wait a second, something's not right here, because I get it that they're going to eat their junk, but there's got to be healthier options. So I started looking into it and finding these healthier options, which is really what my passion is. I'm all about the healthier, better tasting option, or just better option in general. So it's more just kind of understanding how to find the products that don't contain what we call scary 7 ingredients, which are the ones we found to be the most harmful for people, and avoiding those and just making, again, those better decisions.
It's okay to do one thing for yourself, but when you're trying to bring your family along and children and teenagers, what advice do you have for moms out there who are also trying to teach their kids?
I would just give advice, tell moms, don't feel guilty, just make those better options, and don't give up. Because with kids especially, I know, my kids, and we're not perfect at home. My kids are still eating food coloring when they're at school or birthday parties. The difference is they'll come home and they'll say, Mom, I had a food coloring popsicle today. They'll admit to it, but they're still kids. They're going to eat it. It's the 80-20 rule as well. Don't go I really believe that we have to live our life in balance. And yes, I'm a little bit to one side because that's what I do. I educate people on how to make these healthier decisions. But by no means should people think, oh my God, I can't do it. I have to do it all, or I can't do anything. Even the smallest little change makes such a big difference. Start with one thing. If you're giving your kids candy or whatever it is, a popsicle, and you know that there is a healthier option, or come to Naturally Savvy, we can tell you what that healthier option is. Just make that one small change, and that'll make a big difference. I think. Launching a really cool program in October in conjunction with Dr. Mercola, and we're challenging people to get healthy. So if your readers, they need some help, and they're newer to it, or even if they're seasoned veterans and they're avid label readers, we're going to inspire them to make those healthier choices, and we're going to hold their hand. I'm going to teach them, and I'm going to train them, and I'm going to hold their hands, and they're free. Anyone can sign up for it. So, because sometimes we just need a little bit of coaching, right? We need someone to guide us along and inspire us. So we can definitely help your readers around.
Good. No one should have to do this alone. And speaking of that, on this blog, I'm also going to link out all of her information, her website, her book, anywhere that you want to follow and support her on her journey, including what sounds like it's coming up for a really nice adventure there as well.
Yeah, very exciting.
Well, thank you for coming here today. It was great to play.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Enjoy the journey.